At last, it is time. Maruti Suzuki has taken its own sweet time bringing to life its first ever electric vehicle, but the SUV that we first saw as the EVX Concept back in 2023 is now inching closer to production, and what you see here is what we will get next year. This is the Suzuki E-Vitara, which has made its world premiere in Italy, and it will be produced right here in India and launched in the coming months. And in this video, I will tell you everything that you need to know about Maruti's first electric SUV. But before we get started, why don't you subscribe to Car and Bike? Because if you do, you will be seeing the latest cars, latest motorcycles, latest electric vehicles first on our channel. And remember to hit that bell icon as well. Now let's get going. I'm sure you must have noticed by now that while the E-Vitara does share its name with the combustion engine Grand Vitara that is sold in India, it doesn't really have much in common in terms of design and styling with that SUV, and that's because the company wants to make a fresh start with its EVs. The E-Vitara, to its credit, does carry over much of the basic design and silhouette of the EVX Concept that we first saw in 2023, but of course certain elements have been changed to make it more production feasible. The squared out wheel arches are still present, as are the prominent haunches, and the angular headlights with the Y-shaped LED light guides do lend some boldness to the E-Vitara's face. Of course, there's no grille over here because this doesn't need one, but there are some vents and ducts built into the front bumper with the fog lights nestled down below. The charging port, as you can see, is on the left fender, and in profile the E-Vitara does look fairly butch and muscular. The wheels are darkened, and these will be available in sizes ranging from 18 inches to 19 inches depending on the market. There's a lot of heavy plastic cladding as well, once again to add to that macho quotient of this being an SUV. And at the back you will notice that the taillights are linked with the tri-LED elements. And overall, this is a pretty clean design that stays true to what we saw with the concept. But what do you think of the E-Vitara's design and styling? Let us know in the comments. Now, to give you a sense of where the E-Vitara stands in terms of size, in overall length, it is actually shorter than the Grand Vitara, but it is roughly the same height and width. And more importantly, it has a longer wheelbase. This one has a wheelbase of 2700 millimeters, which is 100 millimeters longer than that of the Grand Vitara. This of course means that there should be decent interior space, but that is something we will get to in a bit when we get to talking about the interior. The ground clearance of the E-Vitara is rated at 180 millimeters, and the weight, and this is significant, ranges from 1.7 to 1.9 tons. At the higher end, that's a difference of almost 600 kilos compared to the Grand Vitara. What do you make of the E-Vitara's design and styling? Let us know in the comments. Now let's take a look inside the electric Vitara. As you can tell, the interior too is quite different from any other Maruti Suzuki vehicle we have seen so far. The overall design shares the basic template that was previewed by renderings of the EVX's cabin late last year. A pair of freestanding displays housed within a common bezel sit atop the dashboard, with the upper and lower half of the dashboard separated by a swathe of soft touch material. A small row of physical buttons sit nestled between the central AC vents, while lower down a rotary gear selector and an electronic parking brake are seen. The upper console with the switch gear is a floating unit with some storage space built in below. At this point, it's really hard to say what the rear seat experience in the E-Vitara will be like, but considering this is built on the Heartect E architecture, which is specific for Suzuki's electric vehicles, we do expect that certain optimizations will have been made to liberate more space for rear seat occupants, and there is a central armrest in the rear seats, so that is definitely a welcome addition. The Vitara has two battery pack options, and both use LFP cells, which will reportedly be sourced from BYD. Now we know BYD makes some really impressive electric vehicles, and we just drove one recently, the E-Max 7 MPV, and if you'd like to watch our review of that, click on the pop-out banner now. But coming back to the E-Vitara, it will have two battery pack options, a 49 kWh unit and a 61 kWh unit, while the single motor 61 kWh variant has more power at 172 bhp. The four-wheel drive model with its dual motor setup has a combined 181 bhp and a total torque of 300 Newton meters. The electric 4-wheel drive system, which Suzuki has named the All Grip E electric 4-wheel drive system, will also feature a unique trail mode which Suzuki says will enable owners to navigate tricky terrain. The company says that the system essentially works as a limited slip differential by braking the free spinning tires and distributing torque to the other wheels. All 4 disc brakes will be standard on the E-Vitara. The company has also confirmed that the model will be launched in India, with sales expected to commence by the middle of 2025. Now we expect the E-Vitara to be showcased to the Indian masses at the Bharat Mobility Expo in January before going on sale in the months that follow. And in terms of price, we expect it to be rather competitive because remember that the Tata Curve EV is already inhabiting that space, and in the coming months we will also welcome the Hyundai Creta EV. Keeping that in mind, we feel Maruti will look at the 18 to 26 lakh rupee price bracket with the E-Vitara. What do you think of the E-Vitara? Do you think it could have done with a more imaginative name? What do you think of the design and styling? What do you think of the features on offer? What are your expectations from the comfort levels of this electric SUV? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you have any feedback for us, we'll be happy to hear it. If you enjoyed watching this video and found it informative, then give us the thumbs up. And if you know somebody who may be interested in Maruti's electric SUV, then remember to share this video with them.